Hello, my name is Henrique de Andrade, and I'm here to present the research called Anyone Can Edit, but What Can Be Edited? Controversies in Quality and Openness in Building Wikipedia. And this was my dissertation for my master's degree, and I studied it in Portuguese here in Brazil. So I'm translating this research for you here. I'll have some images showing some data that is not presented on the expanded abstract. So let's go. So the research motivation was like everybody says Wikipedia is the encyclopedia that anyone can edit it. But I started asking myself, what can be edited? I'm a Wikipedian for a long time, and I have seen a lot of people, including like advocates of free culture movements and a lot of people that are engaged in educational projects here in Brazil, withdrawing from editing Wikipedia, saying it's too hard, it's not open, it's not true that it is really open. So I decided to investigate it here. And the research design was we used STS approach, a science and technology and society, sorry, approach. We actually used the action network theory, especially from Bruno Latour, and we focused on two different lines during the research. One that we called from the inside out, and the other one from the outside in. So we are investigating like this speech of anyone can edit, looking from inside the Wikipedia, how Wikipedia receives people, and looking for newcomers showing up to Wikipedia. So let's go. From the inside out, we studied the media wiki, the invisible judge of many questions inside Wikipedia. And we detailed three tools that are implemented in software in MediaWiki: the blacklist, the edit filter, and the captcha. And in the blacklist, it was really interesting to notice it's all Portuguese Wikipedia, this data, that we have like a lot more users editing the whitelist page. The whitelist page is where you can ask for an exception, right? If you want to use some pages that are inside a domain that is blacklisted, so you can ask for the page there. And we see here in this table that we have a lot of action going on in the blacklist and almost nothing going on the whitelist. More than 14,000 entries in blacklist and only 100 in the whitelist. And you can see that almost all users in the whitelist just make one edit. It means they're just coming to ask for their exception and they're not actually doing the work of maintaining the lists. While the blacklist have more users, but not that much also. So we look at the edit filters, and we can see here like there were three waves of editing in the editing filters in Wikipedia, in Portuguese Wikipedia. The first wave, we call it three waves of editing. The first wave was like when it was implemented, the first versions of edit filters. The second wave was when the captcha was removed from Portuguese Wikipedia, and we studied it a lot more detailed. And the third wave was when one singular user decided to improve the filters. So he was like editing the filters. This is not like additions that were triggered by the filters. This is like changes in the filter, people debating the filters and making improvements in the filters. So almost nobody is doing it in Portuguese Wikipedia. And when they are doing, it's like one or two users, unless when you have like this controversy, and that's something that we will focus a lot here. When we have a controversy, people look at it. Sorry, this table is in Portuguese. Here we have the years and the editions in a project called Anti-Vandalism that had like this massive movement here. You can see in 2013 when the captcha was removed from the Portuguese Wikipedia. It was removed from Wikimedia Foundation without community agreement. So you can see that on the full paper also here. And so let's go from the outside in. We observed newcomers and the creation of virtual editathons. And here this is in Portuguese also, but here we are looking for views in the article Science and Technology Studies in Portuguese Wikipedia. And here we can see this was the editathon. This is before, 2 years before, 2 years after. And have the seasonality because of like the seasons in schools. And you can see that there was 38 daily access to this article before editathon and 59 after. So we can really see how the editathon make this content to be more readable to the world. Although we couldn't make like retention of newcomers in our editathons, we could actually see how it improved the contents and made it to be more readable outside. And we also studied like the effect of an experienced user editing. Here it's also in Portuguese, sorry, but here we used a machine learning model called openness to evaluate the editions. And in red, we see all the editions that was made before the experienced user editing the article. And in blue, all the edits made by the newcomers after the experienced user editing. So what we saw here is like the probability of being reverted, the probability of being non-damaging, and the probability of being made in good faith. We can see when the experienced user made like this structuring edition, all the other editions made by the newcomers were more likely to be made in good faith or more likely to be non-harmful and was less likely to be reverted. So the experienced user effect was really massive. So that's it. And we created like this framework for virtual editathons using Discord and Etherpad. But it's like something not really new. And the key takeaways from this work, it's like quality control creates barriers to openness, barriers that become less visible to the community when implemented in software. The source code is open, but almost always invisible. The community is only interested in it in times of failure that require new compositions. And editathons did not create new users, but they made relevant content. So that's it. Thank you very much for your time. And this is my email. This is my wiki name. And if you want to check the full research, it's in Portuguese in this URL. Thank you. Bye.